One of the easiest birds to attract to your backyard is also the loudest. Wrens may be small, but they have huge personalities. They have beautiful songs, and they're excellent at controlling insects in your backyard. Today, I'm gonna show you everything that you need to know to attract these little guys to your backyard. So what exactly do house wrens look like? They're a small bird about 4 to 5 inches long. They have a warm brown color. They have a slightly down-curved bill. They have a short tail that's often held very upright. And finally, they do not have bright colors, and they're extremely active and have a lot of energy. Okay, so we talked about what they look like, but what do they sound like? Their song is a beautiful, bubbly rendition of a bunch of trills, and they will continuously sing throughout the entire spring and summer. Now, house wrens are very, very territorial, so often males will be singing in competition of other males. They'll fill your entire yard with beautiful music. House wrens are excellent at controlling the insects in your backyard. They feed heavily on caterpillars, grasshoppers, beetles, and other pests in your backyard. Fun fact, a house wren can remove thousands of insects throughout an entire summer. So now that we know the why, let's talk about the how and how we can attract them to our backyard. Now, one of the easiest ways to attract house wrens to your backyard is by using a nest box. I'm going to be using this house wren box that's made by KingsYard. Now, one of the most important things always when it comes to nest boxes is the size of the nest box and how it relates to the bird that you're trying to go for. So these wren boxes, or a house wren nest box, are very small. The floor plan of this is about 4 inches by 4 inches. Now, one of the most important things about a wren house is the size of the opening. Now, this box and the ideal size for a house wren box is 1 1/4 inches. This allows enough room for house wrens to go in and out of the nest box, but it does discourage larger birds that would try to go in and either eat or kill the house wrens. Now, the interior height, you want it to be between 6 to 8 inches. Now, you do want to make sure that there are ventilation holes in here. Number one, for moisture to come through, and then also just a little bit of airflow. So as you can see here, there are holes in the bottom of this, and this would allow airflow, and if any moisture gets in, it will be able to drip out. Now, house wrens are natural cavity nesters. So this means that a house wren box should really be natural muted colors, such as brown or cedar or a green or any type of natural color that would resemble a natural cavity nest. You definitely want to avoid bright colors and reflective paint. Now, one other way to attract house wrens or attract nesting house wrens to your backyard is something that brings me back to my childhood. Natural gourds are great ways to attract house wrens, and they will actually nest in these gourds. And in the fall, when they would ripen, we would hollow them out, and then we would hang them, and a lot of house wrens would nest in there. Now, just a little heads up, if you are going to go this route, make sure that the hole in the front is also 1 1/4 inches, and this way it just makes sure that the house wrens have enough size to be able to get in, all while discouraging other birds from coming to the outside. And just a word of warning, if you do decide to go with a gourd to attract a house wren, just make sure at the end of the season you are pulling the old nest out, and this just will allow a new wren to come in and build a new nest on the inside. And that's just because gourds don't have a natural roof or something like a nest box would to be able to clean them out. Okay, so where's the best place to hang a house wren box? The ideal height is 5 to 10 feet off the ground, with a sweet spot being around 6 feet off the ground. House wrens love shrubs, bushes, woodland edges, and field edges. You do want to avoid wide open areas and exposed areas. One of the most important things when you're hanging a nest box that a lot of people miss is the direction that you want the opening to face. In this case, and in a lot of nest boxes, you want the opening of the nest box to face east or southeast. And this is because you get the early morning sun facing you, it avoids the late afternoon harsh sunlight, and it also avoids prevailing headwinds. So what's a good placement away from your house? It's best to put your house wren box at least 10 to 30 feet away from your house, especially an area that gets a lot of congestion or has a lot of activity in it. I will say that house wrens are very tolerant of people, and they will tend to kind of ignore you and allow you to kind of do your thing as long as you're not in their territory or messing with them. Now, like I said earlier, house wrens are very territorial, and you can have multiple nest boxes on your property, but it is recommended to at least split them or have about 100 feet in between. And this will just allow them to kind of have their own little territory, and they won't feel like they're pressured from the other side or another male house wren. So keep them about 100 feet apart, and you shouldn't have any issues. Okay, so what can you expect as far as attracting house wrens to your backyard? House wrens return to most areas somewhere between March and May, which April being a sweet spot for most locations. So it's best to have a new box up and ready and prepared for when males migrate in and they start looking for a nesting location. Now, one interesting thing about nesting house wrens is house wren males will actually build multiple nests, and then the female will actually choose which nest that she wants to nest in. This means that you might put up a box, you might actually get a nest in it, and then the birds don't end up using it. So what you want to do is you do want to kind of watch this, because if you notice that they don't end up nesting in your box, it is best to remove the nest that they created to allow another wren to come in and build a new nest. As far as the nesting material that you might see in your nest box, you're going to see a lot of twigs, grass, pine needles, and feathers. They typically lay 5 to 8 white and brown spotted or speckled eggs. These eggs are incubated for about 12 to 15 days before they hatch, and the baby birds will fledge from the nest about 12 to 15 days after hatching. If you give a good location for house wrens to come back and return, they will typically have between 1 to 2 broods per year. This means that they will nest twice, sometimes even 3 times if they start early enough in the season. Once it's the end of the nesting season, make sure that you're emptying the box, taking out all the old nests, and this just encourages a new house wren the following year to come and nest in your nest box. So remember, if you would like to attract house wrens to your backyard, make sure you use a nest box with the appropriate size for a house wren. Make sure that you hang the box 5 to 10 feet off the ground. Make sure you face the opening of the hole to the east or the southeast. And finally, make sure that it's not a completely open area with some brush and a little bit of an area that they can escape to if there is a predator. If you're looking for a house wren box, I absolutely would recommend this KingsYard House Wren box. I love the size of it. I think everything works perfectly. The top is easy to take off. It allows me to open it up, check on the nest, and remove the old nest at the end of the year to prepare for the following season. I'd like to thank KingsYard for sponsoring this video, and I highly recommend their bird feeders and their nest boxes. If you like this video and you'd like to see more videos like this, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel, and go out and watch birds.